Yeah, hello people. Welcome once more to the Truthful African Child. If you're tuning into this channel for the first time, please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification button. Also, give us a thumbs up to help improve the algorithm. All right, today I'll be talking about the cycle of life, and not that kind of cycle. The cycle of our generation, or rather, the recent generation we find ourselves in. For those who believe in evolution, you know, that is man coming from emancipating from ape, you know, into the modern man that we have today. I think looking at that concept of evolution, it's kind of on the reverse now. It's going backwards. I will explain. The concept of evolution paints this picture of man starting from the four-legged ape, ape in four legs. That is the two hands now substituting for the extra two legs, four legs. Then from having four legs, moving on four legs to, walking on two legs, bended. From walking on two legs and bended, well bended, to straightening up a little bit. That is a straightened ape a little bit. Then from being a little bit straight to having a full, almost straight, 100% straight ape, but still an ape. Then from there, you now move to Homo sapiens, then finally arriving at Homo sapiens sapiens, which is the modern man. And all this while, when he was at that ape level, the four-legged level and the bent level, the tone of communication was just like apes. We communicate sounds and signs. When you see apes in the wild, how they jump up, make sounds, and trying to communicate or send some kind of signal to other apes. So man now moved from that level to the modern man, Homo sapiens sapiens. That is you and I. Okay. So now I'm trying to paint a picture of the harms of this modern day, this generation, the the bad side of everything, both civilization, uh, communication, and in fact the modern day. The reason why I stated earlier that everything now is on reverse is, if you look at it, people hardly socialize. How it was from the beginning, the onset, when man was still man, the technology aside, the civilization aside, when man was still man. When, if you need something from someone, you need to communicate, you need to talk to the person, you need to, like, hey, I need this. So things are now moving on another level, such that people now communicate more when they chat, via whatever social network, be it WhatsApp, be it uh, Twitter, that is X, Instagram, Facebook. There are lots of social network out there, social media network out there. You now see that a person is more communicative when you guys are distance away and communicating via all these devices. He's responsive, more responsive than he would be when you guys get to meet in person. And it's not like you're meeting for the first time. When you meet in person, you wouldn't actually, you are short of what to say to each other, because you're not used to typing it, sending voice notes, two short clips, selfies, and so life is becoming more let's say systematic or more technology driven, the human in us is moving into oblivion. You know, the human in us is stepping into the shadows. And what we have now is what we don't even understand what it is. We don't. The reason why I said we are moving on the reverse, when a man is born, he starts he doesn't crawl. At the time, he starts crawling, start learning how to walk, and same also when he's getting old and fragile in his old level, he begins to fade into himself. You know, he starts struggling with being able to walk, his speech, he loses his teeth, you know, he loses his feeding ability, just like when he was a child, when he depended on the parents to be able to feed. He starts losing those ability. He starts going back to square one. That is where I coined the concept of life being a cycle before he now diminishes. You know what I mean? So this era is pushing us back like into a cycle of the ape era. A time will come when we'll be so used to communicating via all these devices and social media network that if we get to meet each other, we don't actually even know what to say to each other, that we'll start communicating via signs. Maybe we're like, now people say LOL, laugh out loud, right? A time will come when you will need to do signs for that LOL. You know, I'm not kidding. That is where we're driving at. You can take a lady out on a date and you guys will be sitting opposite each other on the table, on the same table. On the same table, you have your phones with you. You know, you can't, there's nothing to say. She's busy communicating with someone else of how the meal looks delicious. She's about to have so she's out on a date that she's not actually actively involved. You know, both you guys are not actively involved, but you're on a date, right? She's letting someone know, okay, I'm on a date with this cute guy. You're in a fancy restaurant, having this, that. You know, she's communicating with the person because the person is far off. If they were close in the same place, probably she'd be communicating with you, that is with her, letting you know what she's up to at that moment. You know, so now humans are getting bored of, you know, the traditional ways of communication. You know, we are now getting keyed and glued to this technology-driven way of communication. These days, you find it boring when people call you over the phone for kind of long. People like, you prefer them send you a message. Yeah, and I'm also guilty of that. So I prefer messages on my WhatsApp or via SMS to calls. And then if you message and there is now an urgent need for that phone call, then we will now schedule for a phone call. Okay, let me call you or you call me by so time. You know, so I feel people invading my privacy when I just see calls pop up on my phone, because maybe at that time I'm engaged into something else that has to do with, you know, either doing something on my phone, you know, watching something or reading news. I don't want calls at that moment. So that is the life we have now. That's the kind of life we all have now. You know, you don't want to hear someone's voice, but you prefer the person sending you a message via SMS, via chats, via voice notes. Then you will now listen to them and think, okay, is it something worth having a phone call? You know, well, it has its good side and it has its downside, but I will actually advise people socialize more. It comes with its own advantages. You know, meet people, meet friends, and while you're at it, just dump your phone in the house. Forget it. Even if it's for 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 24 hours. Say if you want the best out of your humanity, you know, this technology, these devices are taking our social side away from us and giving us something you and I will regret having in future, because the kids are, you know, are following our lead, right? You know, these days everything tablet. You know, it's making life easier, but in reality, it's actually putting life, relegating real life to the background. So spend time with your friends more physically, not chats, or spend more time, physical time with your friends and families. Discuss. If you have something to talk to somebody about, you meet the person, or the person comes over, you guys talk to it in person. Everything is not posting. Like these days, people define friendship, relationship, and with, oh, I had my birthday, you couldn't post my pictures, you did this, that. Life is now being defined by these devices and this social media presence, and it's not supposed to be so. We are losing it. We are losing our humanity. We are losing it. So I think we should just take a time and crawl back to how things used to be. When kids come out, spend time together, socialize, play, without having to be timed. These days when people even take their kids to playgrounds, there's a timer. So it's like we are living down for the clock, you know. We are living for the clock. We are now being controlled by these things, even without we knowing. So we can do better as a people. Socialize more, bring out time for friends, ditch your phone once in a while and be human. Just try it. Try being human once in a while. It feels really good. It reminds you of the things you're actually missing. Yeah. So I'm going to stop this video so it doesn't get too long. If you've not subscribed, please do well to subscribe so we can, always send you notifications. Send you new videos when they drop, and turn on the notification button and give us a like, a thumbs up. See you next time. Keep being human.